What's up, guys? It is your girl, Sarah from Sarah Styles here. I am here with Randy and Megan. We are going to be talking today about the differences in reselling on Poshmark versus reselling on Mercari. So I am so thankful that both of them offered to come on my channel when I reached out and asked. I had someone ask me to do a show on this, and I don't sell on Mercari. So I was like, sure, I'll do a show, but I need to have some other people come on and chat with me about it. And I'm excited to learn more about Mercari. Did I say it? Is it Mercari? Did I say it right? Okay.
It comes out different every time I say it, but I sell it. Yeah.
I know. I don't never. I always just read these, right? Like we don't talk about it that much. So I'm saying Mercari. If it's wrong, I apologize. That's what we're gonna go with today. So we're gonna get into that today. If you like content like this, make sure to subscribe to my channel and give a thumbs up. Definitely feel free to ask questions in the comments as well as we're going through this, or if you have comments and you're watching it in the recording, I'll make sure to answer those or find the answer for you. So while we're waiting for people to kind of get on, Duncan is here. What's up, Duncan? If you guys have eBay questions, he's your guy. He also has an ebook too. Definitely highly recommend that. But while I wait for people to pop on, I'm going to let you guys introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into reselling. You can tell the different platforms that you resell on, and then shameless self-production. If you have a YouTube channel, Instagram handle, all of that stuff, kind of just give us a little overview of who you are.
Hi, I'm Randy with Rolling Rack Posh. I'm over on Poshmark first and foremost. That's probably, I would say, 85 to 90% of my sales. And then Mercari recently kind of revisited. I was on it a long time ago, and then I got off of it, put all my effort into Posh, and then went over there. Their commissions were a little bit less, and my uncle had really good luck just out of nowhere. One week he decided to do it. He lost a bunch of weight and sold all his clothes that he couldn't fit into anymore. And he's like, you really should be on it. You're pushing Posh crazy. So do that. And then I also have an eBay and an Etsy store, but they're my sad stores. My other two are the better.
Yeah. So your main ones are Poshmark and Mercari.
Definitely. Yep.
Okay, cool. And Megan, what is your story?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Megan. I've been reselling of different varying degrees of seriousness. I don't know, for maybe 8 years. My eBay store is older because I sold back in 2003, 4. I first was on selling some things before I moved. So I'm lucky I don't have to have that much of a buildup with it.
Yes, it's nice to have the older store on eBay for sure. It helps.
Yeah. But I just celebrated 6 years on Poshmark. Poshmark has changed so much. It's unbelievable how much it has changed. I started on Mercari, I want to say last October, after a lot of resistance. My friend had been having a lot of success on there. And I'm like, what's stopping me? You know? I'm also on Kittison, but that's a bit slow going. I am also on Etsy with all my vintage clothes. But I've also sold on Tradesy, Vinted, Depop as well in the past. So I've kind of,
seen all of them. I had a question and now I forget. So are you guys both full-time resellers, part-time resellers? Let's get a feel for that before we get into it.
I'm part-time, but full-time during COVID and full-time in the summer. So I work a seasonal position that is in the trade show industry. So that's not happening. So I'm full-time whether I want to be or not right now.
Yeah, but it's kind of nice that you have something that you can fall back on and start to pick up full-time hours,
I've
right?
been wanting to. So I'm now I just have an excuse.
Perfect. And you're part-time, Megan?
Yeah, I'm part-time. I've toyed with the idea of going full-time as far as I feel like I'm always kind of working on it, but to get full-time wages, I'm not there. Yeah. And that's not my.
It's hard to get full-time wages. And I think it's hard. This is something I don't know that's talked about so much in the community. Not what this conversation is, but I'm going to say it real quick. It's to do it full-time and be the breadwinner, I think is hard. Doing it full-time if you have like a supplemental partner income is much more manageable, but trying to, because you have, you know, highs and lows and bad months, and then COVID happens and like it's not a steady salary. And then also like benefits, like you don't get health insurance is expensive. So I think it is definitely hard, but then it is also hard to make just comparable income when it's just team of one, right? Compared to full-time salaries. So, all right, that's my little spiel on that. Not the point of today. So today we are going to be talking about Poshmark versus Mercari, selling on both platforms. I sell on Poshmark. I do not sell on Mercari. So I am going to not have a whole lot to say in here except for Poshmark. But I'm excited that you guys are going to be here. So we're going to kind of just go through the differences between the two. I do want to start with, what do you guys think or know, if you keep track of your numbers, your split between Mercari and Poshmark are as far as sales go? Like on a revenue basis, last month, what would your split be?
Probably 10%, Merc. Yeah, it's not, Posh is definitely in the lead for me, but I've been on that since 2014. I've only been on Merc for about a year, so.
Yeah. Oh, Merc. We have nicknames now. Merc. All right.
Merc.
I sell other things besides clothing on Mercari. I've sold a decent amount of clothes, but there is a big difference with what clothes sell, and so, but I sell other stuff.
So it's hard to like do a comparison because it's not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably higher price for Poshmark. I tend to sell lighter weight things on Mercari. I don't bother with jeans, and I don't bother with jeans. I've tried to write in the description like, "Hey, I'm offering free shipping because I can get it cheaper shipping." People don't read all that.
Yeah, so for sure. People don't read or look at all the pictures. So, like I put my pictures or my measurements in the pictures, and the amount of times, what are the measurements? I'm like, it's like number 3. Like scroll down.
Yeah. But I tend to sell more like pop culture type clothes. Like I put up my Bob's Burgers leggings that I found, and they sold like the same night on Mercari, and they would have just sat probably on Poshmark. I try not to assume I know what people are going to buy on a given platform, because a lot of times I'm surprised. Yeah. But a lot of pop culture stuff, like I put my anime stuff up there. I didn't put that on Poshmark,
like Depop-y type of stuff.
Like what?
Like stuff you would put on Depop?
Yeah.
Or no, not so much. More. Okay. Yeah. Do you have both of you have all of your items on both platforms, or do you decide, like, do you not put everything everywhere?
I don't. I think each platform kind of has their own personality. Like vintage and handmade stuff, I'll put up on Etsy. Anything that's like a well-known brand, like I just wrote some notes about what sold on Mercari recently. And if I'm looking at these brands, I can see a pattern. They're well-known names or franchises. So like Dodgers stuff, Pabst Blue Ribbon stuff sold for me. Disney, Tinkerbell, Nike, Starbucks, Harley. So stuff like that, like real obvious, known.
But I feel like that's kind of Poshmark-y too, right? Or do you feel?
That's too. But I feel like I actually feel like I'm getting more money for those type of items on Mercari. Now, if it's a designer, I feel like it's more on Posh.
Yeah. All those things that are like in pop culture, like beer. Nike's is an American institution,
Yes.
Yeah.
All those type of things kind of. But as far as like name brand things, like Anthropology brands, you're not going to.
Like more fashion type.
As much. Yes. Thank you. That's exactly it.
That's interesting. And maybe that's why I haven't been too eager to move over as well, because I do more like the name brand. And I've heard you can't get as much. Duncan is asking, and this is one of my questions, so let's get into it now. What are the fees on Mercari? So I want to say, okay, we kind of know where everybody's at. I want to have this for people who don't know Poshmark or Mercari, so we can kind of talk about both. So Poshmark, the fees are 20% flat rate. I can speak to that. And then I will let you guys talk about what Mercari's fees are compared to Poshmark.
Good.
10%.
Yeah, 10.
10, and it's just a flat. So it's like Poshmark.
Yeah,
where
no hidden fees, unless you're paying for shipping. No hidden fees.
And does it come off of the top?
Yes.
And then they deposit it into your account right away like Poshmark does, or is it more like eBay where
Posh, once you get that rating or after 3 days, exactly the same. There's a lot of similarities. actually. As far as like flat rate shipping, yeah, there's tiers, but it's still flat rate. Unlike eBay, you get paid in the same way. You know, you can use that to apply for other purchases on Mercari. You know, there's a lot of similarities.
So let's get into the shipping, because that's going to be one of the big ones too, is what is, so I will say I want to have something to say. I want to contribute here. Poshmark, Poshmark, the shipping is on, they pay for it. The buyer pays for the shipping unless you offer a discount. So you can offer free shipping, or see, I want to contribute and then I don't know. It's $4.99. So what is it originally? You have to offer $4.99 shipping is one of the offers, or free shipping. And then that comes out. But then it is, the buyer pays for it, and it is a flat rate, $8.
Yeah, it's
$7.50. Yeah, it's right around $8 flat rate. Up to 5 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And so how does Mercari? If you sell, so I don't know if you guys, and I don't know if she's on today, but if you follow Amber Resell, she just did a great video about things that you should change on Poshmark, and she reached out to Poshmark. She did a whole survey. Like, it is a great video. Go over and check it out. But one of the things was the shipping, that it is a good deal if you're shipping heavy things. Like $5 for 5 pounds for $7 is crazy, but $7 for a t-shirt,
right? Yeah, I could see that. Because most of Mercari, like, you know, I'm looking at my little scale over here, because when I went to eBay, I had to get a scale because you have to measure your package, know the weight and all of that. And most of my things that I sell, she was talking about, Megan was talking about selling lighter weight things on Mercari. And if you have anything that's under a pound, you can, I get most of my shipping for between like $4.60 and I think $4.99. So pretty much if you're doing like t-shirts and stuff like that, it's good. But when you get into like heavy boots and shoes and stuff, it's like, ooh, you know. So, and since I was new with Mercari, that's my thing, has been doing free shipping. So technically, if you're following both my stores, you go to Posh, you might be able to get some stuff cheaper, because on Merc, I usually bring it up a little bit to compensate for it. So, but, you know, people make offers and stuff the same way. They can, you know, send you a DM and say, hey, will you take this, and send you an offer, things like that. So,
one
go ahead,
thing
Megan.
About Posh, and this would, or about Mercari, I have a lot of thoughts. But as far as people will question, and I've mentally questioned myself, like, does that really weigh that much? Mercari will suggest the weight now. It wasn't, I didn't know that it was always like that. I put up a dress, so it said $10 shipping. I'm like, no, it's not that kind of dress. It's a sundress. So it really only needs that pound, $4.99 shipping. But Mercari will pop it up, and it will decide, like, a suggestion. Like, nah, I got my scale. I know.
Yeah, I know my facts. Yeah.
So there's that. Also, with the offers, you mentioned people sending you offers. Mercari only lets people offer you through the actual offer option so much lower than your current price. People will message you.
Oh, so they can't offer you like 75% off?
They block the low baller.
They will send you messages and say, will you take this? It's like, okay, so I have to lower my price for you to send me this low of an offer. Yeah. I've taken those offers. I've adjusted it for people.
What is it like a rough percent that Mercari does, or how do they decide what's the lowest they can go?
I want to say it's probably 20%. It's not that much, because I have a top up for $15, and a girl wanted to pay me 11 or 12, and it wouldn't let it send it to her.
That's kind of nice, because eBay, this isn't about eBay, but eBay, you can set an offer as well. One thing people are correcting me in, it's $7.11, which should be something you should remember. On Poshmark, shipping is $7.11. And I do want to ask about the shipping on Mercari. So on Poshmark, the shipping, you don't have to do anything about it. You don't, when you are shipping, you don't have to like tell them how much it weighs. Like, it's, you just put up a listing, right? And then it it sells, you print out a label and you send it. So that is so easy, especially if you're not a reseller or you're kind of new to it, right? You don't have to you don't have to have a scale. You don't have to, and the boxes too, you can ship it in any kind of priority, any poly mailer, but you can also do any priority and flat rate. So it makes it really easy for sellers and buyers to know what they're getting, but for sellers to be able to do it. So Mercari, you guys were talking about a tiered rate or a tiered shipping. How does that, like, you have to go in there and
the
select
measurements and the actual weight you can put in, and it'll kick out the price for you. So like, for example, if your price or your weight is too heavy and you're trying to send it first class, it'll say, no, that's beyond the weight threshold. You have to kick up to, a priority box or whatever. So they kind of guide you a little bit. And much like eBay, if you're on eBay more, how eBay will suggest to you what an item's selling for, they try to suggest that as well. You don't have to,
but like,
yeah, exactly.
Don't listen to those. If you're new to eBay, don't listen to this.
They try.
Anything that's 4 ounces or under, it's $3.95. Anything up to 8 ounces is $4.60, and 1 pound and less is $4.99. After that, it goes up a little bit.
Okay.
So really,
so they're just kind of trying to make. Oh, go ahead.
So I'm trying usually anything a pound or under. I do. I'm just to keep it simple for myself. And because people don't always consider how much shipping actually costs. That's why I don't offer free shipping on Mercari anymore.
Well, so that was my question, because I've heard that most people want it.
Also, well, 2 things with that. First, you have to consider you're then always shipping it first class. So you have to have your own shipping supplies, unlike PoshMark, which I really like that policy with PoshMark. And I will use those flat rate. Once they made it, you could use the flat rate. Oh my gosh, that was
those boxes are glorious. Yeah. Yes, but just priority in general. So I want to speak to, I know you guys know this, but to people who are new to reselling and don't necessarily know, on Poshmark or in general, you can order free shipping supplies from USPS, and it's most of it is going to be priority mail. So on Poshmark, you don't have to pay for any supplies because they don't have first class supplies. So if you're shipping anything first class, you have to either order poly mailers or use old Amazon boxes or whatever it is, but it does add a level of complexity to where you have to know that, right? Poshmark, you can basically put it in. You cannot put it in, what's the blue priority?
Express.
Yes, I've tried that on accident. Yes, I had that on accident, and my mailman was like, it was a box where like one side is blue and the other side, like if you fold it one way, and I did it the wrong way on accident. But just to clarify for people, if you are watching this and they're new, go ahead.
And also most boxes weigh about 4 ounces. So if it's something like I have a perfume or something, that's not a good example because I send that ground, but like a mug, let's say that's 12 ounces. You put it in that box. Most are about 4 ounces. So depending on what it is you're selling, if you want to protect it, you're not just throwing it in a poly mailer or a padded flat rate or a padded poly mailer thing. You got to take that into consideration.
Yes, the boxes do weigh. The poly mailers. I
don't want to get in trouble with the post office.
They're saying that you miscalculated your shipping too. They tell you. They make sure you know.
Yeah, and they'll charge you. So depending on where you sell, they will charge either your personal account or they will charge the platform, depending on where you sell. So for shipping, I had one other question. Oh, can you do, because I've heard you can do it off of, like Mercari offers these services. So then you select it, it sells, and they send you a label?
Yep.
Okay, so can you decide, because Leslie from A Reseller's Passion is saying she uses PayPal. So can you take it off and do it cheaper on your own?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
It lets you pick theirs or your own.
Yeah. Oh, so then you could do like pirate ship or something and do it. So it's a little bit harder, but you may save. Do you guys Randy, do you ever do it on your own? Do you save?
I have pirate ship, but I've just, for ease of use, I just always just type in the exact measurement, the weight, and just do theirs. I used the Dymo XL, and I had a little bit of an issue printing their labels. And I've watched some other YouTube tutorial about it. And I literally have to launch the Dymo app and pull up the label in my browser from Mercari and flip it and then do a screen grab and like fit it to size.
That's
annoying. It takes me like 5 seconds, but it's an extra step that's annoying. And I don't know if my knowledge is just not there, or that's the only way that I can print the label correctly. Otherwise, if I print it, it's allocated all weird and half the label comes out. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
That's interesting. Do you have?
You can. There's bound to be some way around that, but otherwise, you just gotta work with what you got.
Yeah, it doesn't take that long, but like learning how to do that, who would have figured that out without you?
Yeah, but it adds up. I have learned because I just got a thermal printer, and let me tell y'all, if you guys are shipping more than like a package or 2 a week, like, yes, it's amazing.
You have to have one, yeah.
Yes. I don't know where I was going with that besides they're amazing. Oh no, but the point is like a couple seconds for doing that, and a couple seconds, that time all adds up. And if you're trying, you're starting to make more and more, and it allows for more mistakes, at least for me, because the more steps that I have, the more options for my children to come in and distract me, and then I have the wrong label now, and like so the ease. So that's something that's interesting. Poshmark, you get emailed it and you can print it out. I have a Rolo and I haven't ever had an issue, but I don't sell on Mercari, so I don't know if that would be an easy.
I have a question for Megan real quick.
Yeah.
So you know how you can put the SKU in Poshmark? There's no SKU section in Merc, so I have to put it in the ad. Am I missing something, or is there a SKU section that I'm missing?
If you use your own shipping?
So like I have an inventory system, right? So all my stuff has inventory numbers, and there's a SKU cell in Poshmark. There's not Mercari, so I actually have to put it at the bottom of the description. Yeah. And if I forget to do it, my world, like I have to go into Poshmark, look at what the SKU is in Posh, and it drives me insane. So that's a small annoyance that I have.
Oh, there's something else with shipping that I learned kind of the hard way. If you're going to not offer free shipping, make sure what you charging is correct when you put it. Because if you're paying for the shipping, you can, let's say it's like, oh, wow, I guess this was going to be way heavier than it actually is. Let me change it.
Yeah.
If they paid for it, they paid for that shipping that you assigned to that product. You can't change it.
Yeah, it's set in stone.
And I was
so what do you do if it ends up being? And what happens if it's under? What happens if it's like under? Like if you underestimated how much it was, do you just hope that the post office doesn't catch it?
I guess so. You can cancel and say, look, I didn't charge enough. This is actually the
but who wants to cancel? Like that's risky.
I know.
Especially if you're like, let me cancel to charge you more.
If it's way off, or say I'll lower the price by a couple of dollars because whatever, if you're fair about it and you're being honest about it, people are usually pretty cool. And that's what kept me away from Mercari for a long time. And I don't know if it was just because it was a competition to Poshmark, but it was like, oh, there's scammers on there and blah, blah, blah. And they just bad talked everyone on Mercari. When it first came out. And I don't know if it's because it was a new platform that there were some kind of hiccups with it and people were taking advantage. I don't know. But
I've still heard that people take advantage of the Mercari shipping.
They do. But as far as me as a seller and a buyer on Mercari, I haven't had any issues with any buyers at all. I've never had someone try to return something and do something shady. I know I haven't.
I mean there's probably not much out there.
Positive experience. I just want to put that out there as someone who is very skeptical of going on the platform. I went for it and it's been really positive.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get, because I have some more questions. I mean, lots of questions. Shipping, I think, is a big one for sure, and fees. JB Owens is saying, I do the same thing. And he's talking about, I think, your question, or Randy, with your labels. I only use free shipping on Mercari because I want to print my labels with my Dynamo 4XL and can't print their labels otherwise. So if it's free shipping, it prints okay?
Weird. I haven't tried to charge for shipping, honestly. over there.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's how I'm getting traffic as a rookie on there, I think. So, and I price higher. So,
yeah.
You know,
and I've heard that is the
don't.
one tip. That's one of the tips that I've heard is free shipping on Mercari.
Mhm.
And I think, let me, hold on. Leslie said something about that too. I ship anything over a pound through PayPal. Under a pound is on Mercari. JB Owen says, I also like PayPal because of the padded flat rate envelope. That
Yep.
isn't an option through Mercari.
Yep.
Oh, that's nice, because anything over a pound most of the time is going to be cheaper with the flat rate, if it can fit in a flat rate.
Yeah.
So Duncan, get your life together, Duncan. I must be the only seller that handwrites addresses and uses postage stamps. Postage stamps to mail out orders. Oh Lord, I would be scared to do that I'm gonna write something wrong. And get it wrong. Like,
I was complaining about cutting paper and taping before I got the thermal. I can't imagine handwriting.
I haven't gone for the thermal yet, because I'm like, oh well, things will change and I won't be doing this as often, you know, because it's been like that for me.
Yeah.
But I got the little slips that I can just fold the paper and put it in the slip, and that saved me a ton of time.
Yeah, the thermal, if you get up
stage between the thermal and the putting tape on.
I didn't have, so I've been reselling for like a year and a half, and I was doing like 2 to 4 packages a day, and I was like, that's not worth it. And then once I got to like consistently like 5 to 8, I was like, okay, I need to, because it was, and I posted on my Instagram this week too. If do you guys ever time any of your processes?
Mm-hmm.
I love doing it because then I'm like, how can I make this quicker? And the thermal printer like cut it in half. And the annoyance, like when the tape like would fall and then you'd have to like sit there and like pick it up. Like it would just piss me off.
Well, you don't have to go buy ink. Like, so I go to Costco and get refills on ink, and that takes time. So no more ink.
Yeah. Well, I will say, and I'm dropping a video with some more other tips like this, but I had a HP has an ink subscription that you can do, and it monitors your printer. So if you don't have the thermal and you have an HP, I'm sure other ones have it too, but it's wireless. So it monitors your printer, and when you're so low, it just sends you a new one. And because it's a subscription, it's just like a monthly fee that you pay that's significantly cheaper than ink. So the cost of it never really was enough for me, because the thermal printers are expensive up front, right? Like they're a couple $100 up front. And I was like, well, maybe I'm not going to do this for a long time. Like, I don't want to invest. Okay. Reseller's Passion is saying, and this is the next thing I want to talk about. I actually like, did we cover shipping? Do you guys feel like we covered shipping well enough? We're good. Okay. I actually like Mercari better than eBay just for the ease of listing. I have made more sales on Mercari than I have on any platform. So let's talk shipping. I'll have you guys compare Mercari to Poshmark for listing. So Randy, I'm going to have you start and kind of walk through just simplistically the differences between.
Sure. My viewpoint might be a little different because I'm seeing it through Vendu's eyes. I use Vendu to cross list. Okay. So the only thing, basically what I do is everything originally to Poshmark first, and then I will import it into Vendu. And then basically what I'm doing at that point is maximizing my time, because like for the other day, for example, I cleaned up, photographed, and listed into Poshmark 17 pairs of shoes. So that took a while. But then by the time I sat down on the couch to just chill and watch TV, I could just basically import it into the Mercari platform. And you select it on Vendu. So you tell it you want it to go to Merc, and then it'll put all the info in, and you just start editing cells basically. So it's the only thing that was a little bit different was the title is less. I think the title you get 50 characters, and then I think on Mercari it's 40. So you might have to
even less than Poshmark.
Yeah, you have to take out a couple descriptive words maybe. But
so that when you're going through and doing it, you want to have like your really heavy SEO words at the beginning, and then like less ones. Yeah, which makes sense when you cross post in general anyways. But as far as how many like drop down menus, like Poshmark, I mean, you have what, your title, your description, your color, your size, and the category, maybe that's it. And price.
It's less categories, because like I was telling Megan, the back-end stuff that Poshmark offers, like when you can put in a SKU or like things like that, they basically cut the fluff. So it's pretty quick.
Yes.
So it's not like
Yeah.
as daunting like a gazillion like eBay. It's fairly, would you say it's like apples to apples, or
I
would you say
it's the easiest one of all the platforms I've used.
oh, even more than Poshmark?
Yeah. The only complaint I have about Mercari's drop downs is, like, for example, shorts are only under athletic wear. It's like
Yeah,
that's the
the
only
categories are different.
things like that. There aren't as enough categories. Like the lingerie, there's like I'm like, what do I even put this as? I'm selling pantyhose or something, not a bra or underwear.
It's almost too streamlined. The subcategories are not as
sometimes it's a little too much.
Yeah. And then one other thing too that burnt me this week, it didn't burn me, but it like turned me off, and I'm like, I'm not going to deal with it right now. I tried to list a Kate Spade purse, and it was like for $5.50 or something. It was a set, a wallet and a purse, and its authentication process was a little bit of a pain. It should have been fine, but Sarah's gonna yell at me for this. I was using stock pictures, and it didn't want me to use stock pictures. So
you're not supposed to.
I know, I do though. So, but what I wanted was basically proof that I had the item here and it's being shipped, and I listed it because I know it comes in 7. I don't have it yet, so it just irritated me because I know I'm not fake. But on Posh, it doesn't matter, because when the goods get shipped, it goes to headquarters anyways if it was over 500, and it doesn't matter how I list it or what I choose to, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, so they do it one, so Mercari does it one before Poshmark. Right? Like one level.
If I have this product, it's new. I don't want to open the box. So they want me to open it and physically take a picture of the item.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
No way.
That's what I
yeah, that's interesting. I had a question that I was going to ask though as you're doing that. How does like the searching go on? So like Poshmark, you have to share. Like that's how your items get find.
Yeah.
Is it just like a regular algorithm on Mercari and people just search for it?
There's two things. You can promote and that'll push it up. But also with the listing, Poshmark just added the sell similar thing, and you can only, copy the listing from a sold item. But on Mercari, it's like eBay, where you can copy the type of listing, even if it's an open, active listing.
So you can do it. So yeah, okay.
Oh,
so
listing. I had multiple sizes of one item, and I couldn't select multiple sizes. But you're saying I can copy and just change the size. That's cool. Yep. I didn't even know.
Yeah. But I don't think
it's like midway through, and if I'm selling the same, Pokemon toy, it'll find that thing for me. Also, I'm spoiled on Mercari for brands, because if you put in Victoria's Secret in the header or the title, it'll select the brand for you. And in Poshmark, I'm like, oh, I have to type in this brand, because it's kind of is smart, and it finds possible brands.
It sounds like Poshmark and eBay had a baby.
Did you guys confirm
that? Because it sounds like the ease of Poshmark, but with some of like the added functionality. Because eBay does that too. Like you put the title in, and eBay is like, "Are these all the categories that you want?" And you're like, "Why, yes, I think those are. Thank you."
That does that too. Yeah, it does that.
Yeah,
too.
You just have to watch it, because sometimes it's like, "Oh no, that was not what I wanted it to be."
Yeah. Yeah. But so there are things like that make it a little bit easier to list.
So you would say, I mean, you use Vendoo. So it's kind of an apples to apples too, because you do Vendoo more or less. I was going to call you Michelle because it says MI. Megan, you use, would you say Poshmark or Mercari is easier if you're doing it in the platform?
Do you have a scale?
Probably. Yeah. Oh yeah. Probably Mercari, but it depends on the item. It really does. For lingerie, there's a lot more choices on
to do. Oh, for drop downs. Okay.
Yeah, things like that to categorize.
Does Mercari? Oh, go ahead.
Simple things, a simple top. If I'm selling some pink brand leggings, it's super simple.
So because you have to have a scale, I wonder how many, do you guys have a feel of like Poshmark, you can definitely tell a lot of people are not resellers when it's like, I don't want this item anymore, is their title. But on Mercari, because you have to have a scale. Yes. Yeah.
Pretty dress.
Do you feel like Mercari is, because I always got the impression that Mercari was like people cleaning out their closet as well too. But if you have to have a scale, like people don't know how to ship, right? Like that's not something that the average. Yeah.
A lot of people are probably eating the shipping, like just listing stuff that don't know. But I would think maybe a lot of people came over from eBay that have the scale or Poshers for a while, just because of
resellers.
The way the commercials looked on TV. I thought that Poshmark might own Mercari for a while because they look almost identical. So I don't know.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
Mercari is on their game. I will tell you, they have so many commercials and all the ads before any YouTuber reseller is a Mercari. Like if you're watching this in the recording, like drop a note down below if it is a Mercari.
I thought about the TV. When I watch TV at night,
they're on that I'm already on it.
Yeah, right. You know? So JB Owens, and I think we have to comment on this a little bit, but they don't have, so Mercari doesn't let you do multiple quantities, but I think you just said that.
Yeah.
Poshmark does, but Poshmark doesn't let you do variations. So like you could do like multiple quantities, but if you had a red shirt and a black shirt, you couldn't say like, that wouldn't be one listing, right? You could do multiples of those, or if you had the same shirt in 2 different sizes, you'd have to do 2 different listings. Yeah. That's the same in Mercari too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we're asking, and this is one of my next questions, what other types of products sell on Mercari? So let's compare the two in just what you can list, and then we can maybe talk about what you guys are noticing sell better. I'm going to start with you, Randy, just to go. Wait, which way am I going? This way. It's backwards. Yeah, I'm like pointing out the window. I'm going to put you out the window.
It sounds like Megan sells more things other than clothes. Mine no? Yeah. Yes. I'm just clothes on Mercari.
So what options are there? Can you sell everything, or is it limited?
Yes.
Yes, it's limited. Oh, you can. So they have all the categories.
Here's why I went on Mercari. So I work at a store that sells makeup, and so I end up with a lot of makeup because it's like, it's an amazing deal and blah blah blah. So I wanted to sell some of my makeup that maybe I tried once and never touched it again. On Posh, you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
But on Mercari, that's a lot. That stuff goes like that. I had a palette, I had palette. I thought I was gonna love it. I was excited. If you're into makeup and stuff, yeah. I've sold half bottles of foundation.
Really?
Yes, stuff that's in a pump that people don't touch.
Oh yeah, I guess. Yeah, okay.
Yep. I actually sold one of them twice because it got lost in the mail with someone, and I sold it again like in one day. That's why I even went to Mercari, to get rid of these things that you can just spray alcohol on the eyeshadows. I used them once, and I just wanted to recoup some of the money that I spent, because makeup's really expensive.
Yeah, for sure. And other people want it. Yeah.
People want it. People love it.
Also, so you have all the categories on there. What would you say is selling better?
I have plush toys. I have jewelry. I talked to my friend who I said kind of reassured me. She sells kids clothing and kids toys. She said she really sells a lot of the toys. I've bought toys for my kids on there.
That's what Drama Free Mama, she was on yesterday, and she does a lot of toys, but she only sells hard goods on Mercari. See, this is why I can't do these lives, because every time I do a live, then I'm like, well, now I just have to do this. Like 2 weeks ago, it was, I had someone on for consignment, and I was like, well, clearly I just need to be consignment shop. And I'm like, well, now I need to go on Mercari.
Yeah. I really think, anyone that's thinking about it, do it for sure.
Well, so a lot of people are saying more hard goods too.
Yeah. I mean, I sell little trinkets or whatever. There are certain things that I'm looking for that aren't clothes on there, and they sell higher end stuff like Randy was saying on there as well. It's not just people sell bundles on there. It'll be nice if they add a bundling option.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's a big thing.
Yeah, so that goes into my
stuff. Yeah. People like buying like lots.
Oh, and you can't add
but then
all
if
buy
there's
more than one person.
yeah, you have to.
That's annoying because
manually-
that helps. Yeah. Oh, but you can manually do it.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
can change
So you
it
can at
and
least
change
have
it too.
that. Oh,
Another
like
thing
you would
that
have to
I-
put it all as one listing, right? Like they couldn't buy because like on eBay they can buy multiples. Yeah.
it's a thing. And the
Because that
other
saves
thing I
on
learned
shipping.
when
That's
I
something
was
PoshMark has.
yeah, they didn't always have that. That's a newer feature
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
scheme of things.
But it's smart because if you're up to
yeah.
$5 or £5 shipping, like add that stuff on. That's a great price.
Yeah. The other
for
thing I
shipping.
learned, just you get to know the language and what people are talking about on the different platforms. And people would say, "Can you reserve this for me?" And I'm like, "What?" And you can either deactivate it and kind of the equivalent of for Posh saying "not for sale."
Yeah.
But when you deactivate it, it kind of goes away, and you can't message people through it or anything, or you can delete it. But that's what people mean when they're like, "Can you reserve it?" But
so I don't do that. I'm like,
can't
no.
communicate with that person either, though.
Oh yeah. Okay, so that is my question too. So on Poshmark, you can't DM anyone. You can create like there's a workaround, right? Like you can create a bundle and then you can privately talk with them. But there's no DM feature, so you can either chat on the item or you can chat if you create a bundle. On Mercari, you guys keep referencing, so there's like a direct DM that you can like talk with people about.
Yeah.
Is there a way to like see item? Like, do you like items or do they have what? Like, can you see what they're looking at for your stuff? Or how do you talk about?
Yes. It's like eBay, as in you can see how many views and how many likes. It's wonderful.
Yeah, they totally had a baby, and I need to be all about that.
You know what's not wonderful? This just popped into my head. There's vacation mode.
Oh.
There's deactivate on every individual listing.
Yeah.
But then you have to go through and reactivate them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's no bueno. How does the shipping work? Like, yeah, just don't go on vacation.
I had a reason to do that. I'd
problem solved. How do you, so if you, like for shipping, if you were to say you didn't deactivate everything and you went on vacation and something sold, like what are the policies around shipping and stuff? Because Poshmark, like, you have like 10 days until they kind of send you a nasty. I mean, I don't recommend doing that. Send your stuff right away, but you don't get dinged on Poshmark. Do you get dinged on Mercari if you don't like ship right away and stuff?
I've never gone. Yeah, I don't know.
I know that they'll contact the buyer. They'll, you can cancel it. You can cancel it sooner than you can on Poshmark.
Can you?
If you're the buyer.
Do you know, you don't know the days?
You're supposed to send it within 3 days.
They want you to send in 3, but like,
kid, you have to.
What's the first you can go before they can cancel?
Yeah, because Poshmark wants you to send it. Yeah, Poshmark wants you to send it real quickly, but you don't have to.
I think a lot of it might be able to be worked out through communication. I recently took a 10-day trip. That's why I knew that they didn't have a vacation mode. And I was aware that Poshmark's policy was 7 business days.
Which is probably why I'm saying 10. Yeah, okay.
But yeah, but then they said 10 with COVID. So it's like 10 days or 10 business days because they're kind of about the same. Anyways, you shouldn't put yourself in that position, but I kind of had to for this. And so for the first I think 3 or 4, everybody that ordered, but the people that ordered specifically in the first 3 days I was on vacation, I reached out to everybody and was like, hey, this isn't going to go out till June 2nd, blah, blah, blah. And I was expecting that I might have to take a hit, like with somebody canceling, and just the communication alone, you can usually work through it. Yeah.
I've heard that. And Leslie is coming in, letting us know a Mercari tip. You can hit the select all to deactivate and activate. You don't have to deactivate.
I did not see that.
Yes.
Let it roll. Didn't do it.
Yeah, it all takes time for your eyes to catch all these little things, so that's why it's good to talk to each other and find out.
Sorry, lighting issue.
Oh no. Oh yeah, I can see here.
Sorry.
So Duncan is asking, does Mercari sell vintage? I can't say this. He sells like vintage postage and stuff. I don't know how to say his fancy word though.
I don't know that fancy word either.
Yeah, it's like vintage, like letters and postage, and it's really cool stuff. But
they sell everything. They sell everything. You know what I bought on there? I bought a Hungarian plate. That's something I bought. and that's
It
on
kind
my
of
wall.
looks like a garage sale or like an
Yes.
upgraded Facebook
Yes.
Marketplace kind of,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's
Where
that type of
Poshmark is,
person that shops on there, and it's those type of transactions.
yeah,
Like,
that's
oh,
kind of
I'm
what,
looking for this for my friend, or it's very similar in the feel to
It
Facebook
kind of
Marketplace.
feels like
Yeah.
let go or offer up a little bit too.
yeah, the more that you guys are talking, it seems much more casual to where it's not like as a fit. Like eBay can be kind of scary, right? Like, but
Yeah.
Poshmark is very like trendy and like fashion and like social and y'all, I cannot do another
Mercari's very trendy though.
Can't
I
do
feel that
another one.
there are some things, like I said, pop culture. If there's some things I just wouldn't even put on Poshmark, and I'm like, someone will like that on Mercari though.
Yeah.
Kind of like graphic tees I had, like you said, like pap stuff.
Yeah.
If I had anything like that, my Harley stuff sells on Mercari really well for a good price. I had a little crop top that sold for $14 on Mercari. I never had to lower the price to promote it.
So that's
you
actually,
can see that there's a lot of people looking, and so I'm like, I'm not dropping it. There's a lot of people looking at it.
which is amazing that I like your views, because on Poshmark, you don't have that. Your only indicator of what's happening is likes. But just because something has a gazillion likes, obviously people are seeing it if it has a like. But there's items that have no likes on it, and you have no idea how many views that they have. And it can sell with no likes on it, right? So I do like that they have the views and that you can have the like. Let's talk about like the sellers experience and like dropping. You guys have mentioned like dropping prices and running sales and creating, like, how do you encourage sales? How does that compare to Poshmark? Randy, I'm gonna let you start, because
Sure.
Megan knows all the things, so I want you to
Oh,
I'm
no.
gonna be able to
I'm
get
just
a word in
excited, that's all.
edgewise, and then she can finish up
No,
what
I
we're
was
gonna
listening
cover.
to her about the like the hard goods and the non-clothing items, because I usually go to eBay, so like I have old photography I guess lessons and books and stuff like that, and I go to eBay with it, and now I might put it up on Mercari and see. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
was,
if you already have
But
it.
think about the media mail aspect too, though.
yeah,
Because
Yeah,
they don't. That's
the
the
weight.
one thing I have some books, and I'm like, well, if it's media mail, it's going to be $280. So that's
Yeah.
when I would use my own shipping.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's smart.
She had mentioned you can
Get it
promote
up there,
your listing.
girl.
There's
up
an
there.
actual promote button. So you hit promote on Merc, and there it goes. It basically
Yep.
But that you pay a fee for that, right? Because I was
No.
talking to somebody.
No, that's eBay. eBay.
So yeah, that's eBay.
Yeah.
I
I
thought
do like
that I
1%
was.
on my eBays. FYI.
Yeah, no, I know it's eBay, but I thought I was talking to someone about Mercari, and if you did that, then
Okay.
it made it closer to the Poshmark fee.
I do this a lot.
Oh, they're doing that.
I have there's a 10 promotion limit per day, because I reach it
Me too.
often.
Oh, you can
When it's
only do 10 a
private,
day.
yeah. There's a private offer to likers, sort of a thing.
Mhm.
And there's a set amount that it has to be lower than. And sometimes I'm not comfortable with that low of a price it's telling me it has to be. So I just promote it. And if it's over like $20, it'll go down a couple of dollars. It's like proportional. If I have something listed for 15, it'll go down to 14. It's 5%. So the person will get a notification. It's dropped 5%. And it's usually like a buck.
And so do you have to individually go in? There's not like you can't run a
I'll look
sale
and
or anything,
see.
though. You have to go in and individually do them like you would on Poshmark.
Yeah. But it's good, because if I can go through and go, man, this isn't getting any views, I can promote it, and all of a sudden people see it, and I get some likes, and maybe it'll sell.
It's kind of odd, though, that it's 10 a day, because that's not really fair. If you only have 10 items, you can do your whole closet. And if you have 600 items, like, that's nothing.
I don't know.
It should be a
the
percent
reasoning.
of your.
I haven't figured that out.
Yeah, they probably didn't think about it, is my guess. But it doesn't, like, it's not fair. If you have 600 items and you can only do 10 a day, like, that's nothing. Okay, so Duncan's. Oh, go ahead.
There isn't any easy way to like relist something like on eBay, or how Posh has just implemented that copying option. People do relist, but it's not common, and I haven't found a way to do it easily without just copy and pasting.
But if you have Vendu or one of the other softwares, you can take it off and put it back on. I just wanted to, because I know that
Maybe
Randy
that's it.
has that.
Maybe that's,
And
that might
Yeah,
be.
Vendu has an upgrade, so you can, it's 3 platforms, you can add a 4th, and then you can, they call it an add-on bundle. So you pay for whatever your subscription is, you pick the amount of items you list. I think I have $250 a month, but it's not really $250, it's $250 times the 3 additional platforms, because they charge you per item, not per platform you listed on. So one item counts as 1, but if you have 4 platforms, it's getting listed on all 4. It still counts as 1 item. So you can
mine as well. Put them on everyone.
and then you can add a bundle upgrade. I think it's a couple dollars extra, like $10 or $11. I can't remember. I have to look at it. But it'll delist and relist, and then you can add a 4th platform that's part of that bundle. So that's how I ended up on Poshmark, Mercari, Etsy, and eBay. But eBay 2 days ago was having some issues with Vendu, so I hope they work that out.
Oh, so that's not good.
And they're like, we're working on the problem.
Yeah, I use Liz Perfectly, and there is you just buy a pack. They have 3 different tiers, and it comes with it. It's not like the add-on service like Vendu is, and you can, if something, you mark it as sold. So even if it didn't sell, you would mark it as sold and then just relist it. And you can do it there up to like 8 or 9 platforms, I think. And with whatever tier you're in, you have access to all of them.
Yeah, I had heard that Liz Perfectly had Facebook Marketplace too, so I was interested in that after COVID chills out a little bit.
Yeah, and they just added Kenzie's. I don't sell on all of them. They have Tradesies, Grailed. Yeah,
get started.
They have a lot.
Yeah.
Duncan's asking, is it possible to earn $1,000 a week on Mercari? Do they use PayPal payments? I think that's a hard question in general.
Anything's possible. I'm not making $1,000 on Mercari.
Yeah, anything's possible.
I would venture to say, if you have enough inventory and you're doing enough stuff on there, probably.
No PayPal. It's either I do a direct debit type of thing with Mercari personally. I started selling my husband's vintage Zippos lighters.
Cool.
What's a Zippo?
Those lighters, like with the flip top.
Oh yeah, I was thinking like clothes. I was like, oh, that's yes. Okay. Oh, what do those go
for? Like $100 each. So
really, you
have a bunch of old Camels that you got through Camel Bucks or whatever it was. I don't know. I don't smoke.
Yeah.
It depends what you have. People sell fine art on there. That's some things that I've kind of kept an eye on, is certain artists on there as well. Like I said, I bought a plate. So
they have that. It definitely is sounding more like Facebook Marketplace or like garage sale but you can sell other things too.
Mm-hmm.
JB Owens is saying, I relist, I'm assuming he's talking about Mercari, by saving all photos on my phone, and then I copy and paste the titles and descriptions from Poshmark. And I wanted to say, because Duncan did ask about PayPal payments, and I'm going to tell him, like, they're going to manage payments, Duncan. Like, PayPal's not going to be a thing, and you have to do it by the end of this year. So you got to get it together. Quit writing your labels, and you have to go to manage payments. Yes, so JB Owen says, I bet Chris from Daily Refinement is making $1,000 a week. And I do think he has his stats recently, but that's small buckets compared to like his eBay and Poshmark sales. I think it's like 10,000 or something stupid on eBay for him.
Stupid.
Well, I mean, come on, 10,000 a week, like,
that's awesome.
Out of here. Yeah. No, it's awesome. I shouldn't call it stupid. It's
super awesome. No, I know what you mean.
It is. It's how much. How big do you want to scale up?
Yes. Well, and that's the thing.
That's not me.
Well, and that's the thing too, is like Randy said, anything is possible if you have enough time and inventory. And I mean, I love Chris. I will have him on tomorrow, and he has taught me so many things, but he has like a full-blown business. Like, he has people, like he has VA and like multiple, it's not just one-stop shop part-time seller, which there's nothing wrong with it. But $1,000 a week for a part-time person compared to $1,000 a week for someone who has like 4 employees, it's all depends on how you're running your show. Okay. Oh, I have to leave Duncan alone. He says he likes handwriting his address labels. So I think I had some questions. I think that we went over. Customer service. How is customer service? Poshmark, you have to send an email and you typically get a candid response, and sometimes you get some information. They're actually improving, I've noticed though. But how is Mercari in customer service? Can you get a hold of people? Have you had issues?
I haven't had to reach out to anybody at Mercari directly. The one thing I like, and it's not necessarily customer service exactly, but similar to Uber or Lyft, I can't remember which one of them does it, but one of them you just rate the driver, the other one the driver rates the rider. And in Mercari, they're not only rating you as the seller, you're rating them as a buyer. So there's incentive for them not to be a pain in the butt. So that's
and does it actually mean something? Because like I keep going back to eBay, but like on eBay, you can't actually rate people bad. I mean, technically you can, but it doesn't really, like, you're not really supposed to. But you can rate, and does it show? Because on Poshmark, the only love notes are the 5-star love notes or the 5 stars are the only love notes that show. Like all of that shows, right?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I've been rating them back, but I don't know where it goes because I sell more than I buy.
Yeah. No, I know it's hard because we're not buyers, right?
Yeah, I do an automatic five stars. If they rate me like right away, because it'll tell you when it's been delivered, if they've rated, and then when you get paid, even though you get paid as soon as you rate them back. But
so you have to rate them back to get paid.
If they are a quick rater, if they're a buyer that quick rates you right away and doesn't just leave you hanging for the 3 days and waiting, you can say they're a quick rater. They're friendly, good communication, all that stuff. Understanding.
But even 3 days is not that long, I don't think. How are the
but if you get your money right away, maybe I'm waiting to buy something, which happens frequently, and I need that credit.
What do you think
about reselling? I like shopping.
I know, right, exactly. What is their return policy? Because Poshmark, once you accept it, like, it's a done deal.
Same thing on Mercari, but I haven't had any issues.
Can you return for fit?
I can't tell you.
Can you return for fit, or is it? Because
I don't know.
Poshmark
does no returns. I know Posh does too, but I think that Mercari is a little bit more steadfast with the no return.
Yeah.
So it's pretty like once it's sold, which is kind of a nice, especially if you're not like a full-time reseller and this isn't your gig, like not to have to worry about like all of that. Is kind of a nice added one. Jacob is saying, I have only dealt with Mercari via email. They've been very helpful and on top of it when it came to helping me. They do have a phone number though, so that's good. Poshmark does not have a phone number.
Yeah, and
although Amber resellers. Oh, really? I had a good experience with Etsy recently. Was it during COVID?
No, it was.
Oh.
No, it was a weird thing, and they're like, "Oh, you can't do that on the phone app. You have to go on a laptop to do this thing that seemed like a really basic, like cancel an order for someone." And I wasn't told that. Yeah, it was a whole thing. But yeah,
I had good experience.
I don't have to deal with customer service. That's a great thing. So.
Well, and so then it means that the platform, you're not having a whole lot of issues. I just know I'm thinking about like from a Poshmark standpoint, what some of the people's complaints are and like why you would choose one over the other. And a lot of it is people have complained about customer service if there is an issue. Like I have an issue right now. I'm gonna tell you a little.
I have a Poshmark issue too, but I want to hear your issue first.
Oh yeah, let's do a little Poshmark issue gossip right now. Yeah, real quick.
Not gossip,
well, it's not necessarily an issue. I just don't know what to do about it. So I sent out an item. This was like 3 weeks ago. I sent out an item and it got sent back to me because it was the wrong address or something. So I reached out to the person and was like, "Hey, like this got sent back to me. What do you want to do?" And she's like, "Well, I don't get paid for a week and a half." And I was like, okay, you bought this like 2 weeks ago. And so I emailed Poshmark and was like, what do you want me to do? And so in all of this, because it got sent back to me, it was scanned that it was received. So I got paid for it, even though I still have it. Yep. And I reached out to the person and to Poshmark and they're both like, okay, well, like get back to you. And I'm like, this was a week ago. So I still have the item in my hands and it's still like all shipped up. Cause I was like, I don't want to like do anything with this. I don't know what to do with it, but I've already been paid for it, but I still have it. Like,
That's happened to
and
me.
I can't.
I have 2 packages right here that happened to.
Oh, has it? It's never happened to me. I was like, this is the weirdest thing, and I'm like, trying to be honest. I'm like, I want to give this to the lady if she wants it, and
both of my things were people that were military and they moved. So the forwarding expired and it got sent back to me, and I've gone through and I'm like, do you want this? Like, it's already settled. It's been refunded. I've gotten my paid money for it. There's been a few times that Poshmark has.
And Poshmark didn't do anything about it?
No.
So now you can resell it.
I got paid for it. So if you want it, I'll pop it in the mail because it's, I'll pay for a couple dollars for shipping and just give it to them. It's fine. But nope.
Oh, actually, yeah, now that you say that, I remember she
someone
did come back. Give it to you. Send it back to you.
It was during the California fires, and she said, "I'm sorry, I can't get to my post office."
Oh.
So I kind of had to cancel it, and I totally forgot about it. And like a couple months later, I got it in the mail. And sometimes you got to do that stuff for buyers. Sometimes, I've done that kind of stuff on eBay. I make a mistake. You got to make it right. And
yeah, I've done that.
Well, but I don't know how to make it right now because I've already been like, I would have canceled it, but she was like, no, I want it in a week. And I was like, okay, like I would have canceled it, but she was like, no, I still want it. And then they paid me for it. And I asked them, and actually now that we're talking, I remember that she, in a bundle, she sent me her new address, and I was like, you have to do it to Poshmark. I don't make the label. You have to, they'll send you me a new label, but you have to. And now that I'm thinking about it, I haven't heard back from them, and it's just kicking it. It's a really cute dress too. It fits me.
It's cool that Poshmark stuff comes up so high in Google, but a lot of the times people don't know how to use the app. So
yeah, that's true too.
And that's a little frustrating, but it is what it is.
Hi, ladies. Newbie question pertaining to Poshmark. When sharing your closet, do you have to share to other social platforms like they suggest for it to be considered shared? So no, but it helps. Yes, sharing to Pinterest. Actually, Pinterest is, Duncan, I think, was telling me this. Pinterest, or maybe it was Leslie. Someone was telling me, but Pinterest is one of the top-rated search engines. And if you notice, like when you look up something, a lot of times one of the pictures takes you to Pinterest, and then you click on it to go to somewhere else. And so sharing it to Pinterest does help. And on Poshmark, you can automatically share it to Pinterest, so it doesn't hurt to share it to other places. But sharing in Poshmark counts as sharing it to the feed, or to like if there's a party or something, right? Anything you guys would add to that? Good.
Nope.
I'm ignoring Duncan for now. Okay.
With Mercari, it's like you said, a lot of it's stripped away. People are on there to buy. People are on there to sell, obviously. There isn't the little, because I've been on Poshmark so long. When I see something cute, I want to say, oh, cute. I'm like, oh, I have to send them a message. And, it's really just, you put it perfectly. It's like eBay and Poshmark had a baby.
Yep.
It's so, and there's no hidden fees. It's 10%. They did do a couple of promotions where if you list a bag during a certain dates, it would have less fees if you sold it by a certain date.
I saw that because I sell a lot of bags, and I had a couple people that were like, now's the time, go put your bags on there. And I was like,
they're cool. They tell you what's trending. Like right now when you log in on Poshmark, there's a banner at the top. Right now, if you launch Mercari, it'll say, hey, people are buying water sports stuff. You have inner tubes you can sell? You have swimsuits? That's what people are buying. Like it'll tell you like what's trending. So that's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's great. They'll say how many of whatever sold this week. They give you a lot of information as for sellers. Like they said, video game stuff. I mean, they give you suggestions. Top brands.
So they want you to succeed.
They do.
So I'm wondering, and I missed, Megan, what your percent split out between Posh and Mercari is, but Randy, I know yours was about 10% to 90% Poshmark. Why do you think that is? I mean, because you're making Poshmark or Mercari like, this is it, this is the hot spot, but then you're only doing 10% of your sales are there. So
a lot of my effort, because like I said, they're the original. Poshmark's my boo, although I have a little bit of beef with them, and I haven't told you the beef, and I kind of want to tell you the beef, just in case anyone listening has had the same issue.
Do you want to tell the beef like privately in a DM? How about it?
I want to know if anybody else has had this issue. So, and it has to do with campaigns. So it's a little deeper than just the like willy-nilly seller. But
yeah, I don't do the campaigns, but
if you're doing campaigns, you get paid to post on social media. I was cranking with campaigns as well as listing, and I felt like it was drawing more traffic to my store. And then one random day in October, and it happened to be last October, like 19th, it happened to be right after my original Poshmark store name was Sauce 212, and it was like an old high school email, right? So I switched it to Rolling Rack Posh when I went the same with all my branding across all platforms, started the Instagram and all of that. And it was shortly after that. So I don't know if it had to do with the name change or what, but there was a pending transfer of funds from doing an ad, and it has been stuck since October, and I have access to no other campaigns since then. So I was planning on going to Posh Fest again this year, and they have a little teeny desk, little like 8-foot table with a skirt, and tech support. And I was going to be like, dude, fix it, you know, but now with COVID, there's no Posh Fest.
You've emailed them and they haven't?
Emailed them multiple times through them. I have hit them up through Facebook. I have hit them up through Instagram. Multiple people, I'd say at least 5 times each, maybe 10 each. And they're like, yes, we'll get back to you. We'll look into it. And then nothing.
I wonder if, remember when you first applied to do those campaigns? Maybe it has something to do with that, like the username with that or something.
I don't know.
That's the only thing I could
That's the only thing I can think of too. And it's like, this is a manual problem. Somebody needs to probably specifically
like if they can't connect it. But so
click something.
I don't know if you want to hear this. I don't know if this is going to help the situation or make it worse. But she says I had that happen and contacted them. They fixed it.
How did she contact them?
Yeah, let us know how you contacted them. I would. So I don't know if he's going to appreciate this. Anyways, I have heard that if you have issues that you can send Manish a DM on Instagram and he will personally respond.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I don't know that I want to put that on YouTube now because now he's going to get a bunch of emails. But I know people who have had
he's going to hate you now.
But I mean, honestly, I don't know that it's actually.
That's the way customer service is now on Instagram. It's true.
Yeah.
But whether or not it's actually him or like his assistant, I've heard that people have gotten things taken care of by doing that.
Maybe going directly to his might be better because I've gone through the Poshmark, Instagram, Facebook, multiple, like other people have said they have the same problem and they got it fixed. So they're like, just keep trying. I did. It's not doing anything. It's still locked up. So the only thing I can think of was the name change possibly, but
yeah, because maybe it just doesn't, maybe it just can't connect, but still they should be able to like, okay, cool, let me do the back end for you.
Yeah.
We are hitting, we are like cranking out the top chat. I try to keep it an hour. It's fine. I try to keep it at an hour, but I just looked and I was like, there are a couple questions and then we will sign off. No, that was not the question I wanted. Sarah, do you share every item to Pinterest or does your lister? I've started doing some, but wasn't sure if you do all. So on Poshmark, you can, when you share, you can set it up as like a setting. So every time you share it, it shares to Pinterest. So that I share every time. eBay, so I'm only on Poshmark and eBay and Etsy, but I just put it there and it sits there. eBay, you have to go in and manually share it. So I share all of my new listings for the day, and then I will go through and do like 10% of my closet for the day because I can't go through and share all of my items on eBay every day. But on Poshmark, you can set it where automatically, when you share your item, it automatically shares it to Pinterest as well.
I need to start sharing on eBay. That's what that's something that I haven't done.
Yes, well, I do it to Pinterest just
about Poshmark.
Yeah, Poshmark for sure. Like I was just trying to gain momentum. You don't have to share on eBay like you share to Poshmark, but it helps it come up in an external search. And most people who are externally searching pay higher prices. Oh God, this is my husband, Mr. Sals. Now I'm going to hear about Sarah Sals debating if she should join Mercari all week. Yeah, he will. That's the conversations we're going to be having.
And put in Mercari. Etsy's just sitting there.
Yeah, I know. I just can't. It's a lot to handle. I want to make sure I have all the questions answered. Oh, hold on. Campaigns are all frozen right now, and then they're happening. She said email, but you tried that. So Oh, this one for sure. Everyone smash that like button. This is great info. I agree. Thank you guys so much for coming on and sharing all your information. And I really appreciate it because someone asked me if I could do a video and I was like, sure, but I personally can't do a video because I don't share on Mercari.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, so I appreciate you guys coming on. I am going to do another shameless self-promotion, and that goes for everybody in the chat as well too. And if you're watching this in a recording as well, you guys can leave comments down below. I'm going to do myself a shameless self-promotion because I forgot I did this. I started a podcast, and so follow. I don't know how podcast works. You follow, you subscribe, you something. I don't know. But it's on my YouTube. There's like a little link now too, so you can go over there. As of right now, it's mainly going to be just these conversations I'm going to put onto a different platform. So if you're listening to this, you know, need to go listen over there as well, or you can. But that's my shameless self-promotion. So if you're listening to this in the podcast too, make sure to subscribe or follow or something that you do on podcasts. But in the comments, leave your Poshmark closets, your eBay stores, your Instagram handles, your YouTube channels, if you're having a sale, any of that. And I'm going to let you guys sign us off with that information for you as well. Where can we find you, and any last minute words that you want to shamelessly self-promote?
You can find me at Rolling Rack Posh on Instagram. I also have a YouTube channel. Everything's under either Randy Lang or Rolling Rack Posh. Randy's RandyILange. Rolling Rack Posh is all over. I also have a public Facebook group that's Poshmark 101 that's dedicated mostly to Poshmark. Poshmark's my boo. I've been on it since 2014 and it's grown a lot. So that's kind of my specialty is Poshmark.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, Megan.
I'm MI. That's my initials, Wicked Style, because I love all things No Doubt and Gwen Stefani. But it's like,
I love when I hear about. Yeah, I do too. Okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah. In the deep dive, I had Lamb as like my top selling because I was selling my older stuff that didn't fit.
Yeah, but that sells well, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does. There's a really devoted following and they know all about it, so don't mess them about.
Okay, so if you have questions about Lamb, ask. Yeah. I was gonna say, if you have questions, reach out.
There's a really good website called Lamb Collections that has been kept up.
She is like the cutest.
I'm on eBay. I think it's just under Megan Ivanos on eBay. I sell tons of vintage. I have Etsy. I'm on Mercari, obviously. I sell all sorts on there. I sell a lot of plush. All sorts of random stuff. Anything interesting that I find that I think someone might be searching for, I put up there. Yeah, but yeah, I'm on Posh, and I have my vintage on Posh too. Just tell me, say hi. Love chatting with people on Posh as well. So yeah. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful evening. And oh yes, love Gwen and Pink. I do too. Those are like two of my favorites. And they're so empowering.
You should see my tattoo on my arm. Yeah.
Oh, let's see it. This is a great way to finish it. Let's see it. Can we see it in? Yeah. Okay. I didn't know. Oh, we can't.
Hold on. And backwards. There it goes.
I'm just a girl. Is that what it is?
Oh, yep. Love it.
And there's
I love her so much. I just sold all my Gavin Rossdale Bush stuff because I'm still mad at him.
That right? I know.
But
I do love Blake.
Loyal to him, so it'll sell.
It did.
You want to sell it?
It sold well.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Everyone have a good evening.